Are you tired of the banksters making the big bonuses? Is your money in some savings account getting 0.5% interest? Well, take charge of your finance. Next Thursday, Alessio Rastani, the Robin Hood of Wall Street, will be giving a free webinar at 7 p.m. British Standard Time, and he will teach you how to buy low and sell high and preserve your wealth and learn a little bit about these markets so you can take control of your life and your finance. I'll be there. If you want to sign up, click on the link below or go to leadingtrader.com/real. Do it.
Lots of people have asked about silver as well.
Yes.
They're asking, well, we've had another big down week, down a few days in terms of the...
Oh, really? I haven't been looking. Is it down?
Yeah, I think it fell like, 6 or 7%, I think. It's like just under $23 silver.
Right.
It's funny because, to put it into context, so when we were buying silver back at $7, $8, so when people say it's crashed, it's hard, you're thinking in different terms. They say the same thing with Bitcoin because it was up for a few hours up to 260,
right,
and now it's at 120. But for 2 years, we saw it between $2 and $6. So, it's hard when they say it's crashed, but to us, it's obviously up, 40-fold or something like that. But people are asking about the price, which is, we're going to talk this week on Keiser Report. We're talking to Sandeep Jaitley at Bullion Basis about this, and also Jim Rickards from Currency Wars about this. But they also want to know about the Keiser ethical silver. And where about that coin and how they can get it cheaper.
Yes.
Well, that's funny because those are two competing claims. This is actually an interesting point because one thing you're seeing is Western investors, retail investors, are selling paper claims to gold. It's not even actually a claim to gold or silver. It's a paper representation of the price of gold and silver on the GLD or SLV shares. But there's record demand for physical silver. I mean, you see the Chinese housewives, which we covered, bought 500 tons of physical gold in the course of 2 weeks.
Right. It's a paper claim on an illegitimate price.
Yeah.
That's what an ETF is, because that's not the cash price.
No. So here you have some people concerned about the price going down, and this other person saying, how can I acquire more for a lower price?
Right. Well, as people have pointed out, this is an interesting phenomenon in markets that I don't think anyone has really seen before, that the demand for gold and silver is at an all-time high for central banks and retail investors. There's never been more demand for gold. Central banks are aggressively buying gold. They started buying gold for the first time in 40 years in 2009. They've been increasing their purchases of gold. Retail investors in Asia, in China, in India are forming queues out the door, in Australia, to get their hands on gold and silver. So what's happening to the paper price, the price that's concocted in London and New York based on the futures price, which is determined by guys in New York, the same guys who determine LIBOR, the same guys who determine the credit default swap index that they manipulate, the same guys that determine the various bond indices that they manipulate. The London fix. So these prices are down concurrently with New York Stock Exchange and these other exchanges moving up. So you have a very interesting period now where you've got extremes in the bond market where they're increasing supply almost exponentially around the world. Bond flotation, government bonds, the supply of bonds are increasing at all-time record highs, and yet the price goes higher. Yeah. So here's a complete refutation of supply and demand. You're increasing supply dramatically, prices going higher. On the gold and silver side, demand has been increased exponentially, price goes lower. So clearly, the entire price signal that you would expect from a supply and demand free market capitalist system has ended. We're in a post-capitalist period now. Yeah. So you can't look at the price and draw any conclusions in terms of price giving accurate signals. It means nothing. The paper price is meaningless. Now, at some point, there will be a reversion to the mean. At one point, these markets will come back in line with some normalcy, and you'll see gold and silver. Gold will be suddenly $2,500, $3,000 an ounce in the space of 2 days. So if you weren't in, too late. And the Dow Jones Industrials will go from 15 or 16 or 17,000 down to 8,000. Yeah. But that'll all happen in 2 or 3 days.